And I will now pass over to Nadine, who's going to talk us through removing all the bullshit. Oh, I said I wouldn't swear, sorry about that. Removing all the bullshit from SEO. Nadine, over to you.
Good evening, everybody. My voice is still a bit weird because I had COVID again. And I'm still, if I cough, then that's why it is, but I'm feeling great, so I'm just at the last end of coughing. Kevin, did you
Nadine, if I can just cut in, I don't know if anybody else, but I'm not getting you very loud. It's quite...
hang on, audio, where did that go? Why is my speaker not connected? It's weird. Should be connected correctly.
Hang on, that seems to be a bit better. Hold on 2 seconds. I've got you better now.
I'm not sure. I've got the microphone
Hang on,
here, but it's not registering it.
Headset on actually.
That ways. My speakers. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me okay? Yeah. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, I put my headset on as well, which I can hear a lot better. Give me a thumbs up, everybody, if you can hear Nadine okay. Excellent, cool. Good stuff.
Excellent.
Yeah, that's fine. Loud and clear.
So, Kevin, have you sat through the last one I did?
No, it was another Meet the Expert we done.
All right, cool. So it's not the same, because I've slightly amended it, like a similar one I did the last time, and but yeah. So let's get started now. I've got a presentation which is not death by PowerPoint, so trust me. I'm going to ask you some questions, and if you just put the answers as it's just like A, B, or a number or something like that, put it into the chat because that gives me a good idea as well. So I'm going to share my screen. Let me just pop that in here if I make this too. Stuart, do you need to allow me to share? And if you want to get a website review, send me your URL in the chat, and I'm happy to give you a video website review. I'll send that to you. So you can either email me your website to this one here, info@businessimage.co.uk, and I'm more than happy to look over your website and send you a no-nonsense review. People will get usually lots of ideas and pointers for that. Now, let me just get started. So I created this. Can you all see this okay? I'll see Kevin in there.
Yes.
Yeah, cool.
Yep.
So if I click on present, it's going to go on massive screen, and this is just going to, because I've got like a 42-inch screen, then I have to do like a tennis game here. So I just keep this into the this thing one here. So how to dominate your local market with SEO. So first of all, you can find me on LinkedIn, and my main business is Business Image, and I also run the SEO Club. I'm Nadin Thomson. I'm in Scotland, in Dunfermline, and I am the mum of a cat, and I'm a photographer as well. So, but let's just stop with the chit chat and just get into SEO. Do you want more website visitors? So give me a thumbs up if you can see it. But the question is, how many website visitors do you currently have per month? Okay, so put in A, B, C, or D. Don't know, under 500. That's good. Under 500, yeah, don't know, that's quite common. So if you don't know, then make sure that Google Analytics is installed, and that's super easy to do. It takes 2 minutes for any sort of web designer to go and do that. Now, how many website visitors do you want per month? So put in the number that you want per month, okay? So let's say 375 or 500 or 5,000. Put in a number just to, okay, 1,000, okay, 100 million. Yeah, Stuart, you have no time for Monty to go on the beach. 1,000, yeah, it's all good numbers. So now the next question is, how many inquiries do you currently get per month from your website? So pop in that number, how many inquiries you currently get from your website. 0, 0, 0, okay, that's not good. Question mark, 0, 5, Kevin, that's good. So, and the thing is, how many inquiries do you want per month? Okay, so that's another good number. So you don't tend to convert all your inquiries. So let's say you want 10, but you convert 5. So Kevin wants 20. So just put in a number so you know what you're aiming for, 20 to 30. Michael, what is it you do? Just pop that in. And Chris, what do you do? Just pop into the chat what you do. So just to think about as well with a construction project management business, Michael, yeah. So Michael, if you want 20 to 30 inquiries, if you convert 15, can you deal with 15 projects? Is your business big enough to cover that, or could you do 20 a month or something like that? Joinery, okay. So think about how many you want to get. So let's keep going. If you don't measure it, you can't improve it. So that's an important number to write down, okay? So the average conversion rate for a website is between 2 and 5%. So conversion rate is something I'm secretly really passionate about. And this means that for every 100 website visitors, you should receive between 2 and 5 inquiries. Okay, so if you get more inquiries, then you have an above average conversion rate, but you should receive between 2 and 5. So if you have fewer than 100 website visitors a month, you have a traffic problem. And if you have hundreds or thousands of monthly website visitors, but no inquiries, you have a website problem. So if you currently get 500 visitors a month and you get no inquiries, doubling that number of visitors will not double the number of inquiries, because 0 plus 0 is still 0. Okay, so you need to work on the website, and the website review will give you pointers on how to remove friction. So what is your problem? Do you have a website problem, or do you have a traffic problem? Put in A or B. A for traffic and B for website. Traffic problem, website, yeah. Chris, website, that's cool. Okay, that's good to know. So the good news is you don't need thousands of visitors a month. So this is an example of somebody of a building contractor. Their website went live in August, and in August they only had 29 visitors, but they got 5 inquiries. So that's a huge high conversion rate. In September they got 8 out of 334 visitors, 2.4. So we're still in the average. But then it's been going up, and in January it's only been 14 days, but he's already had 10 inquiries from 99 visitors. Okay, so this is a website that I have built with all my expertise to actually massage it into a place where people send you inquiries. That's super important. And for me, it's very important as a web designer that I build websites that actually convert, because it's no point in having a beautiful website that nobody can use and inquire from. So as you can see, not a lot of visitors can still turn into a lot of inquiries. And for this one here, the average is about 25K for a job. And so you can do the maths. If he converts 5 of these, that's still a good thing. So more visitors doesn't mean that to mean more business if your website isn't right. So let's get into the local SEO, because we want to get you more local traffic. And I'm going to show you where SEO is heading as well with the current AI thingy, and this is going to blow your mind. So I'm a super big fan of AI. So the chances are there are 10 things missing on your website. Okay, so if I go and search for a random joiner in Newcastle, and I can do that in Google, and even just so joiner Newcastle, or let's just say joiner in, yeah, let's just do Newcastle. And I just pick a random one, let's say from page 4, this one here. So yeah, perfect example. So we'll go back in here. So number 1, the full business address is missing in the website footer. So they have the address in here, which is good, but mostly it's missing in the footer. So you need to show your full address. That means the town, the county, and your postcode. Now, if you work from home, like I do, you obviously don't want your home address in your website so that people turn up at your home. So you just want to put the street in, not the number, and a postcode. So that's super important. Okay. This is called NAP, name, address, phone number. Google looks for that on your website, and not just Google, also AI.
Nadine,
Yeah.
Nadine, can I just ask a quick, sorry to interrupt, can I just ask a quick question here? If you don't want to put the address on the website, is it worthwhile for a lot of these guys going to get like a virtual office?
No.
Is that detrimental to the website?
Yes. It's not detrimental, but it
Excellent.
doesn't help. It's not detrimental, but it's pointless. It used to be a little bit of an SEO hack, and I did that 10, 15 years ago for my photography business, because my photography business was purely focused on Edinburgh, but I lived in Bathgate, which is about 25 miles west. So I didn't want clients from Bathgate inquiring, I only wanted clients from Edinburgh inquiring. But there are a lot of virtual address buildings that basically they sell you an address for £15 a month, but Google knows these addresses and they ignore them as an office address. So put your address
right,
on.
okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Right, okay.
So the phone number is important, and that could be a mobile number, that could be the local number. There's websites like this one here. If you want to get a local number, they are called toll-free forwarding, and you can, from any big number in any sort of, let's say you're in Dundee, you want to get a Dundee dialing code, and that's like £5 a month that you pay, and then you've got a number. So on my business website, because you don't want to have a landline, and then this number is redirected to your mobile phone, so it still makes you look just ever so slightly bigger, and also Google recognizes that as a local address, and that's another little point. So here's a good example. It's just basically the address and where it is, the postcode, and the telephone number. So that's what you want to have in your footer. Now, the second thing, the first headline people see on your website does not say what you do and where you do it. That is super important, and I see this all the time. Now, it's also important that you check your website on your phone, and without scrolling, it should clearly say what you do. So let me show you a couple of examples. So this is what I googled, scaffolding in Inverness, and this is the first thing I see before scrolling. So the thing is, people see, you will read this first. This is a graphic that I show all the time. So you always read the big stuff first, then this, and then this. So even though this is the first thing people read, is printed on the page, they will still read the big stuff first. So going by this website, it just says we are proud to have over 50 years of scaffolding experience. So it doesn't say where they are, and this is too tiny for me to even recognize these two buttons, so they don't stand out. The picture is too busy, and it starts with we. It's a big no-no. So your website is not about you. Your website is about your customer. So any sentence you want to start with we, me, myself, I, our, change it to you and switch the sentence to make it about your customer. Now, the next thing is I googled catering in Newcastle, and I got this website, Private Aviation. Now, what's the point of that? Don't we all over? Oh, yes, okay. So the Private Aviation, they have a slider at the top, and one of the slides is actually the catering. So slideshows are a big bugbear of mine. Slideshows haven't been a thing for about 10 years. So chuck them off your website. Slideshows slow your website down. They are a really bad user experience because you're hiding valuable information on slide 2. And even if you have buttons on your slides, no one will click on the buttons on slide 2, and no one will lean back. And we are now so trained in our minds that anything that moves on a website is ignored because we think it's advertising. So don't muddle up your messaging. Have one image on the top of the page. Anytime you feel the urge of have something moving on your website, chop that finger off and don't have it on your website. So the next thing is I googled virtual assistant Newcastle. This is great. It says flexible admin support for charities and social businesses. So it tells us exactly what they do and who they do it for. So this is brilliant. Another bad one, catering Newcastle, it says wedding and events. Again, it's just it's pointless. This could be a florist. This could be somebody that hires out tables for weddings. Again, it's not a very good example. And this one, catering Newcastle, great. Again, it says outside event catering. So outside event catering means they're not going to do indoor weddings, so they're only going to do outside. So they're really precise. The next thing is your Google business profile is incomplete. I see this all the time. So people add a random picture when they create their picture, their profile in Google. So first of all, upload your logo, upload your recent projects as images, and upload only really, really good pictures to Google. So, and make sure that it has the correct business name. Try to avoid fancy business names. I recently had this where one of my SEO Club members, she's called Design at Studio 17, and the way she named it was design and then the @ sign for the email and then Studio 17, and it was all bumped together. And if you look for her business name, it would not show the business profile. So I just told her to just write it out in normal words and letters, and you will be found, and that'll be that. So the Google business profile is super important to have complete. Put in your opening hours, put in any questions that Google asks you, try to answer them, put in a little bit of an about section, write down exactly what you offer. Now, any business that I speak to, they have an 80-20 situation. So let's say you do garage conversions, home extensions, and driveways. Now, you know that the home extensions is where the money is. I'm assuming that. So that's your 80, and your 20% of turnover is going to be your garage conversions and your driveways. So you want to talk about the 80% in the Google business profile to get more people in that give you the bigger jobs. You can also mention that, but always mention the 80% stuff. Then the next thing is that you only have 3 Google reviews, and then you don't display them on your website. So you need to get the reviews, and the way I've done this on my business website here, I've created a very simple page that I can just remember. The page is not linked from anywhere. It's just for me to know if I finish a project, I sent this to my client, and then they can click on here and they go straight into the Google review. So they don't have to search for it on Google, and you can just write a review straight away. And the way to do this, if you click on your own business profile into reviews, so let me just show you this. So if I click for business image, farmland, the business profile is here. So the reviews are here, and then you can click get more reviews, and then you use this link on the button that you put onto your reviews page. Okay, so the next thing is you need to use your testimonials like seasoning and sprinkle them across your pages. Do not have a testimonials page. People will not read it. It's pointless to have a testimonials page in your main navigation. You need to turn every single page on your website into a testimonials page. So if you think about your testimonials, even a positive comment that you got from somebody, write it down, protect their identity, just say Mike M, Newcastle or something like that. I would say all your service pages, they need to have at least 3 testimonials per page, but do not put them into a slider. Make sure you show them properly. And the next thing is pull out the juiciest comment in a testimonial and don't keep the blah. Okay, so quite often on a website, I see, what do our customers say? Or lovely words, or client testimonials. That's a pointless headline. So what you wanted, and also, so this is like a testimonial that somebody might send to you. So it's totally boring and nobody is going to read that. So what you want to do is you want to condense this to this, and this is the headline you want to use. So you don't want the headline to be what our clients say, but you want the headline to be something that is about your service. So the next thing is avoid the sliders. I've already mentioned that, because people will not sit back. And also sliders also don't, they sometimes move too fast, and the testimonials are too long, so people can't read them. So the next thing is that you don't have FAQs on your Google business profile. This is super easy to do. So as you can see here, questions and answers, you can ask these questions yourself and answer them yourself. So put in your most asked questions and answer them yourself. So you ask them yourself and you answer them yourself on your Google business profile. What websites platform do you work with? You know, how long does it take for a website to be live? So your typical questions that you get. So just kind of sharpen your senses for the next month or so and write down, just send yourself a WhatsApp message to yourself when somebody asks you a question, and you can pop them into your Google profile. So the next thing, so here's the example of that. The next thing is you're not listed in local directories. That's super important. For SEO, it's still important. It used to be really big, but now it's still important, but it's going down a little bit in importance. But local directories, it could be networking directories, and there are services that you can use like Moz Local, Bright Local, where you can submit your business to 25 directories for like $80 or something like that. It's a one-off price, and if anything changes, you go into Bright Local, you change your opening hours, and it will change these on all these 25 directories that is submitted to. So it's quite easy to do. It takes you half an hour, and that's it done. And that's also 25 backlinks from other websites to your website. So the next biggest problem that I see, especially in trades, is that you have one page that lists all your services. So let's say you do garage conversions, home extensions, driveways, and landscaping. And you basically have one page that says services, and then you say garage conversions, all these 4 things, and you just say, we do garage conversions, you have a lovely picture, and then on the right it says, we do garage conversions. So that's basically not enough. So this is a website I'm working on at the moment, and this is their structure, what it looked like. So they do upholstery, but as you can see, the navigation here, it's all about everything else but upholstery. So upholstery, the thing that she's selling, is a tiny mention in the menu, whereas it should be the biggest thing. So we are now changing the menu, and so all of this is sort of secondary, and the new menu, it's all about the main menu will say sofas, chairs, chaises, stools, ottomans, and garden furniture, and that's the menu. And all of this stuff about me and shop, and the shop is different for her anyway, but blog and contact and FAQ doesn't need to be in the main menu. That's important. I've done a website for restoration company in Edinburgh recently. So as you can see, this is basically all their service pages that they have, and people will instantly understand by looking at this what they offer. So we don't need to click on services and a drop down. So you want to avoid a drop down. Even they have got 9 different ones here. We managed to squeeze them into this navigation bar, and you want to show this instantly so that people do not have to search for things. So it's all about usability and removing friction on the website. That's super important. Now, the next thing is the money pages. They need to be your beefiest pages on your website. That's the service pages. So if you're doing garage conversions, you need to have one page for garage conversions. If you do driveways, you need to have an additional page for driveways. So, and the service pages are really long. So basically, if somebody looks at it on your mobile phone, you want them to keep scrolling down and keep nodding away so that they have no other choice than inquiring. So let me show you an example. I'll find one in a minute. So these are, so this one here, they have overwritten me. They said, oh, everybody in the industry has got a services button, and they actually only do 3 services. And I say, okay, the client's always right. In this case, they aren't. But that wasn't an argument I wasn't going to have. But basically, their main services are domestic scaffolding, and then commercial scaffolding, and something else, industrial as well. So these are the service pages. So you need to have one page per service, because the one thing, and Stuart, you're going to type that into the messaging, is the one thing to understand with Google is Google does not index websites. Google does not rank websites. Google ranks web pages. Okay, that's a huge difference. Your website is the website as a whole, but if somebody enters industrial scaffolding in central Scotland, they will go straight to that page. Google will serve this page. It will not serve the home page. So if you have one page that lists all of your services on one page, that's really bad for Google, because they just say, oh, that's just a tiny company, that's not worth showing, because there will be somebody out there that has got all the information on one page that the customer could potentially want. The next thing is that you don't have local backlinks. So local backlinks are important. So it's not exchanging links, but so you get them from directories, and you want to get backlinks from companies or organizations that relate to what you do. So if you are a scaffolding company and your wife does jewelry, having a backlink from her to your scaffolding company will not make a difference. But having a link from a local networking organization will make all the difference. So it's have local links, and scaffolding company, you could get a link from an architecture business or from a surveyor or something like that. So they could have a recommended list. So the more links you have, the higher you can rank in Google. The next thing is that most people don't show their address on social media, and they also don't include their location. So social media posts are mostly indexed in Google, LinkedIn, for example, and on Facebook and Instagram as well. So you always want to show your location. So if you post a project, always say it was taken in Edinburgh, it was taken in Glasgow, or whatever. So always show that. And then in your profile, put in your address again, so for social media. And the next thing is that you don't use local keywords, which is very often the case. And local keywords are quite important for the local SEO. So let me show you an example. Scaffolding contractor in central Scotland, and that is basically the key phrase that we are targeting. So this is the homepage. So scaffolding contractor in Scotland. So they would rank for scaffolding contractor central Scotland, for Scotland, and then for the areas in central Scotland as well. The next thing is that you don't have a blog. Now, people say, oh, people don't read blogs. I was like, it's not quite the case. As a local business, it's super important to show what you've done locally. So if you've completed a project, garage conversion, you just say, here's a garage conversion example. So that's like your portfolio, you put that on there, and that's easy then for sharing. So you don't want to share your projects onto social media. You want to share them on your blog first, and then you want to share that blog on social media. So then it drives traffic back to your website. So that's super important. So always start on your website and push it from there into social media, not the other way around. The next thing is with local blogs, local businesses. So I always say your blog is not a business diary. And for local businesses, that is true as well. So you don't want to say that the secretary had a baby. That's social media content. You don't want to share that stuff on your blog. Your blog needs to answer customer question. And the book, Stuart, that I'm going to recommend, you can pop that in here, is Marcus Sheridan, They Ask You Answer. Now, he's a super guy from the States, and if you listen to books in the car, he actually reads the book himself. It'll blow your mind, it'll open your mind on what to put on your website. So blogging is important, and if you can't face to do it yourself, then outsource it. So we help a few local businesses writing their blogs or improving their blogs as well. Now, the AI thing, who here is using ChatGPT? Has anybody used ChatGPT? Do you put a yes in, yes or no, Y or N? Anybody used AI? Yes, yes, that's brilliant. So anybody use Perplexity?
Yeah.
Not heard of it. So Perplexity is using ChatGPT. So I use both Perplexity and ChatGPT. Now, so can somebody, I'm seeing James Hayes. James, what do you do in your business?
We're groundworks, we are.
Pardon?
Groundworks.
Groundworks, okay. And
Yeah.
whereabouts?
Midlands.
Okay, so I can put in here, I am looking for a groundworks company in the Midlands. And what specific town?
Awsworth.
How do you write that? How do you spell that?
AWSWORTH.
Sorry, AW.
AWSWORTH.
I've given him both
Oh.
a worming.
This is where SEO is going. Okay, so I don't know. It will actually show.
That's me, top left.
Brilliant. So you are now showing up in AI. Somebody, Stuart, can you just? I don't know who's got the background noise on here.
Yeah, I'll just if you just mute up.
Madam,
Hold on.
It might be.
beds stay in our own beds.
Okay, so this is where SEO is going. So if people are thinking it's just Google, I'm going to show you an example just to make it really clear. Okay, so how to make guacamole. Okay, so the reason I'm showing you this is just to show you something completely outside your industry. So I'm going to pick somebody, all recipes here. Okay, so now it's gonna get me an advertisement. This guacamole recipe, so it's still no information. Then we're going to see TUI. Then we're going to find out what guacamole is. So I don't need that information because I know what guacamole is. I just want to bloody make it. And I'm having to scroll down, and as you can see, scrolling until I actually get, and I'm seeing office chairs here, all sorts of stuff that is just totally irrelevant. Okay, so now if I go and do this in ChatGPT, I'm going to get an answer like that. And people understand, people will use that for finding answers to their questions. And people are now slowly getting used to that. So this is the text, there's no ads, it's quiet, it doesn't annoy us. It's not about the guacamole in here, but it's about showing you that the AI is cutting out the stuff that Google and everybody else is shoving into our face with advertising. So your website needs to be optimized so that it comes up in AI as a search result. And as you can see, they have got advertising, they have got a map here as well, and they show pictures. Now, the next thing is I can say which one gets the best reviews, and Google will not be able to answer that because I just need to go into Google. But this software, Perplexity, and it's the same as ChatGPT, they will just do the software, the answer for us. We don't have to search for it. It will do all of this for us in the future. So having your website optimized now is your surefire way to be displayed in AI software, because people will move there. People in the last few years have moved to using Alexa and Siri to ask for questions, and people are now used to doing conversational search. So it's no longer about keywords as such, but it's conversational search. So people here will not enter keywords, they will enter a conversational question, and they will use on their mobile phone the microphone and answer and ask the question in there. So this is where it's going, and all the normal SEO things that are for you to show up in Google apply for this as well. So this is ChatGPT, Perplexity AI. I don't know if you do need this for anything for your business. I'm creating my own ChatGPTs now, which is helping my customers to do a lot of things. So anyway, I'll shut up. If there's any questions, the floor is yours.
Okay, so what we'll do is probably just go with the chat box, I think, because there's quite a few people on the call. So any questions, just start putting them into the chat box, and we'll just work our way through them. I'd never actually heard of Perplexity, Nadine, so that's absolutely brilliant. Really, really good. So while we're waiting for some questions to come in, Nadine, you'd mentioned there about blogs, and one of the, just to make sure this is still relevant, one of the things I was told was to make sure you're writing the blog headline using an H1 title, and then using the title of your blog with a search term that is popular on Google. Is it
Yes.
still the case that that is what to do? And are websites like Answer the Public really good to get what those search terms are?
So search engines and AI, obviously, they're becoming very, very clever. When I worked as a wedding photographer, I had a blog post on my website along the lines of how much does wedding photography cost in Edinburgh. Now, if somebody enters that precise question, I would rank at the top of Google. Now, if somebody enters how much is a wedding photographer in Edinburgh, Google understands that and will still show my website at the top because I was ranking for the topic. And Google understands, this is called semantic differences. I think there's another term for that. I try not to use the difficult terms to make things easy and understandable. But how much does a wedding photographer cost? What is the price of a wedding photographer in Edinburgh? How much is a wedding photographer? They all mean the same thing. And Google understands that. Just make your question, use the term that your customers would use. And just keep it conversational, because then you're instantly opening the gate to AI. And if anybody tells you to protect your website content from AI, tell them to, I'm not going to say the word. You didn't protect your website from Google. If you want to be found, AI is where people are going to go, because AI.
Of course they are. Of course they are. Okay, let's go through the questions then. Kevin, great insights, that's okay. Roman, stuck in traffic, was not able to see video, blah, blah, blah. I'll send you the link because this will be going to YouTube tomorrow. Michael's asking, does having a strong social media presence boost my SEO?
No.
No. Okay. What's the best way to identify? Okay, another great question here.
It might boost website traffic if you share your website, but it will not have anything to do with SEO.
Okay, so if you share it, it's fine. He's also asking, what's the best way to identify high-performing keywords for my industry? So
for that, you need a software, an SEO software, and I'm going to show you an example really quickly. So this is called
But answer the public, Nadine. It's free, is it not? Yeah, but it's not going to give you the numbers that you need. So right, okay. Put in sorry, who was asking that? That was Mike, I think. Yes. Michael, what do you do? Just type it in or say it out loud.
Construction project management.
So I'm going to put that in here, and then this. So first of all, and what's your website, Michael? That's another important one. Can you pop that into the chat, please? The link, the URL. I'm just going to tell you an SEO.
It's not handmade now. I'm still editing it at the minute.
Okay, so let's just say I'm just going to show mine. Use mine here. So SEO is about two things, okay? So if I'm going to Site Explorer, I'll put my website in here. So this number here is called domain rating or domain authority, okay? So mine is very, very high because I get a link back from all the websites that I develop. They have a link in the footer that point back to my website. So I'm getting a lot of local links, website developed by Business Image. And also I do blogging and I've got keywords and things like that. Most websites that I start working with, they have a domain rating of 1 or 2 and sometimes nothing at all. You can check your domain rating on moz.com. I'm going to send you the link in the chat. So you can check that in there. The higher this is, the higher keyword difficulties you can rank for. So if we go into construction project management, that is a very, very high, very hard one to rank for. So if your website is still in development, I would assume that your domain rating is under 10. So you basically have 0 chance to rank for this. But there are questions, if we go into the questions here, and by all means take a screenshot of this, but this now tells me how many people per month search for this thing. So this is the global search volume, and this is the search volume in the UK, so it's 50. So construction, project management, so let's just go and find some other terms here, related terms. And so let's just say we want to have a keyword difficulty of up to 10, this thing annoys me. So I can now basically show me keyword difficulties, because you need to match that. So I can basically, if your domain rating is 10, you can rank for keywords of up to 10. So these are the keywords that you can rank for, and this is how many people search for this per month in the UK. So the global search volume, that's obviously is irrelevant. How many people in the US or something like that search for this? So that will tell you how many people search for this. But I would always go with search suggestions. And the thing is, people ignore stuff that has got low search volume. But the things, for example, so this might be irrelevant, manager courses, so you chuck out the ones that you don't want. Project construction, ultimate guide, construction management training. You could even put a page together that talks about all of that stuff. But I would still provide content in the low ones, because that tends to be specific questions that people actually have an interest in. I've created a very cool magic, I call them magic GPT, so you're more than happy to use it. So let me just show you that. Is it method? AIDA block builder. So the topic is construction project management. So I'll send you a link to this. Let me just send you the link first. So if you click on this link, all you need to put into ChatGPT is your industry, nothing else. I've pre-programmed it to do the block topic finder for you. So it will then tell you nothing. There we go. It will tell you blog subjects based on the AIDA model. The AIDA model is a marketing model. It's attention, interest, desire, and action, and it will generate blog post ideas for you for your industry or for what you're selling. Now, eventually this will happen, so I'll come back to this in a minute. I can close that. So this is the software. This is the kind of software there. It's also SEMrush. So this is called Ahrefs, and then there's SEMrush. So there's different ones that give you that, but I can provide that service as well to do keyword research for people. So here it comes up with ideas for the different phases, for the different intentions that people have. Transform problem management strategies, and then the action. So this is basically you're guiding people through their process. So they're just starting to look for this, then they're interested in looking for this. They actually really want this now, and this is the last step. Sign up for a webinar or join our course or get started. So you just need to put in your topic or your industry, and it will generate this for you. So there's no prompting you need to do, because I've done all the prompting for you in the background. Okay. Right. Long answer. Sorry.
Excellent. I'm loving that magic GPT thing. That's and I've not seen that before. I know you
I'm
shared that with
generating
me.
one a day at the moment for my course.
Absolutely brilliant. So let me just go back to some of the addresses. Strong social media. What's the best way? Alex is asking if you recommend a blog, how do you suggest using social media in business? Not quite sure what you mean by that, Alec. Do you want to just expand on that one, Alec? You're on mute.
Yeah, so I was quite surprised with the blog thing. So I think like I use social media as kind of how she said the blog is like your kind of everyday and whatnot. So I was just interested to see how she thinks social media should almost be used, because obviously a different perspective.
So
Okay,
when
Nadine,
I
that makes sense.
Yeah. When I write a blog post, so most of my blog posts are how-to guides, or I've done a big roundup on time management for business owners, for example. I then chuck this into ChatGPT, and so I've got another magic GPT. Basically, it's called Blog to Social Media, and it'll then generate 10 to 15 social media posts from your one blog post. So it fishes out statements and facts from the blog post that you have written, generates the social media posts, and you can then plan this, one of them a month. So you don't want to share one blog post once. You want to share the same blog post once a month, because on social media, only a fraction of your people see your content. So you want to share the same blog post, but 12 times. So that's how you can fill your social media diary, but you can generate, I'm looking at Roman there, he's sitting in the dark, that looks so spooky. So there's, I can show you how this is done, just briefly. I can blog to social media, I can share that with you as well. So if I use one of my blog posts, the SEO Club, and I'm just going to go into how to show up for different services. Let's just pick one here. And all I do, I don't actually have to do this now. I can use the full URL. Okay, this has got a lot of images in it. Let me just go to, should you build your website? That's one here. Should you build your website yourself or hire somebody? So I'm basically scrolling down. All I'm doing is press Control-C, and I'm going to change this to so that you can just enter your URL. So all I do is copy this stuff in, and it now starts to work, generating social media posts for me. So I've done all the prompting already, and it puts it into a table, and it even writes the caption for you and the call to action, and then you put in the URL to the blog post. So this is now generating 10 different ones for me. So I can then, and I've set it up to 10, I could set it up for 15 or 20. It just rewrites different things. And because the call to action, you then use this on Canva and use different graphics. You put this one, how I built my first website, for example, onto the graphic. And then this is, you put this into the caption, and then this is the call to action to look at the blog post. So you're driving people from social media to your website. Now, the thing is with social media is not to overthink it, and follow a plan that you can follow. So if you decide you want to do, I mean, I've set myself a steep goal this year to do 1 Instagram post a day, and mine are quite involved. So far I'm like on day 45, I think, which is quite good. So I started all this on the 1st of December. So on LinkedIn, and I've got, I think, see, the thing is, if you need somebody to scalp your bum, Stuart and I, we have this thing going that if I don't post on social media, I will have to pay a fine to a political party that I do not like. So,
Okay.
so I've set myself a goal to post twice a week on LinkedIn. So, because I will not donate the money to that party. So, and if you have something, if you come across something in your job, something strange, something funny, like I spoke to a photographer today, he fell head first, face first, up a hill into the mud, and with his camera lens sticking into the mud. And I say to him, did you take a picture of that? And say, no. It's like, well, that would have been a good social media post. That's stuff you don't share on Facebook, on your blog, but that's social media. So keep it chatty as well, and occasionally show your face. Yeah.
Makes sense. Nadine, a lot of home build websites, I know a couple of people on the call have got sort of home build websites done through things like GoDaddy, Ionis, and all these kind of things. Do they limit your do they limit or affect your SEO reach?
Let me just quickly show you. If I find it, I wrote a blog post about this. I just now need to find it on my website. So for the platform, not. So the answer is yes, but no but. How to optimize this. I'm just trying to find it. As I've written a long blog post about this, and with statistics, because I looked at over 1,200 websites. Which website platform? This one here. So so I basically did a research project where I looked at 1,200, let me just get to the results. This is like 1,200 websites that we looked at. So what we did is we entered a search term. So I used Fiverr.com for that.
Yeah.
And I asked people and I asked them specifically if somebody was in India, if somebody was in New Zealand, if somebody was in Australia, that they enter a search term and plus their local town. So it was super important that first it was randomized, so I didn't know where these people were in the world, and they had to look for like a florist or like a joiner in Perth, Australia. And then they had to look at the 10 top results in Google, and then write down what the website is built in. So there's
Right, got you.
so that's basically, and then so these 10 results, as you can see, WordPress was the overall winner. And everybody else, so this one here is custom, so these are your Wikipedias and New York Times and all that kind of stuff. So they have got custom built websites, or they do not share what the website is built on. Now, WordPress isn't infallible, it's not perfect, but it is the one that ranks, because it
Right.
comes with plugins that you can enter. Now, I've seen Wix websites that rank really well. Now, Wix has really turned itself around in terms of usability, and I still hate it, but if people follow my SEO advice, they can get their Wix website to rank same as a WordPress website. People who
Okay.
use platforms do not tend to care or do not know about Wix, about SEO. So they build a website and then they realize it doesn't rank, and then they learn about it. And then most people, quite a lot of small business owners, they say, oh, my website doesn't rank, I better redesign it. I was like, revolution, not evolution. So quite often a redesign will not fix a broken website if the whole concept is wrong. So if the website builder is super basic, and especially if it's free, so SEO, there are so many aspects. For example, how fast is your website? So you should do a page speed test. I can send you the link to that as well. And your mobile speed should be over 50, well over 50. Let me just page speed. Speed. You can do that in the background if you want, and your desktop speed should be well high in the 90s. So I build on Wix Roman, that's good. So yeah, it depends on your builder. GoDaddy websites, the reason GoDaddy websites seems to be quite slow, because they're hosted in the United States, and that is important. Where it's hosted. So if you're getting your website built, make sure it's hosted in the UK, because if that is a problem, then you don't have a time situation, as a time difference with the support and all that. The blog to social ChatGPT, I shall share that. Give me a second. Click on it.
Excellent.
So there we go. There it is, the Magic GPT. So yeah, it's really important where your website is hosted, and GoDaddy is something that I will not touch with a barge pole. No,
Excellent. Okay. This has been absolutely fantastic. Again, Nadine, I've got all the questions that I think I've covered them all. Okay. So if you check back on the emails that were sent out today and yesterday, you've got Nadine's email address. So reach out to Nadine, make sure you get that website review, because everything's going to start there. If Nadine's going to review your website, then you're going to get to know what the basic flaws are. So make sure you take advantage of that. And anybody else get any other questions? Stick into the chat box if you get any other questions, or we'll wrap up at that. Give me a thumbs up if you found that really helpful. Excellent. Nadine, once again, absolutely fantastic. I'm sure there'll be tons of questions that people will be asking you later. Maybe sort of reflecting and some notes as well. James is going to say, yeah, need some help. Absolutely. It's a huge topic, James. It's a real huge topic. So I think you'll find that as you go away and check on your notes, you're undoubtedly going to come up with, oh, damn, I should have asked that. So reach out to Nadine. Kevin's saying he's going to be in touch. And of course, Nadine as well, there'll be loads of people watching the recording. once we get it onto the YouTube channel tomorrow. Chris is saying many thanks. We'd like to chat about the website. You'll have Nadine's email address there, Chris. So just make sure you do that, because I think it's just super, super important. I
Yeah,
think
you
we're
can
seeing a
get me
lot.
by email or LinkedIn, or on the SEO Club Instagram, depends on where you hang out. So the thing is, I recently, just one thing I wanted to share, Stuart, is there is a wedding photographer who I used to do wedding photography, and he just has got the most hilarious videos about his day-to-day job, about things that people ask and stupid things, and he's making a killing with. So his posts are like beautiful wedding pictures, and then his videos are hilarious about the job. And if you can put on a funny thing about your job, then that obviously will get more clicks and likes, and people share it. So I'm just going to find the link for you very quickly. So I found him here. There we go. If you check out the way he does his videos, and they're quite relaxed. It's quite interesting because he shows everyday wedding photographer struggles. So if you have something like that in your industry, in your job, every industry has that, where you think, oh my God, this question, seriously. So
Yeah.
you can just educate your potential customer with some fun.
Absolutely, 100%. Okay, but there's no more questions. We're pretty much bang on time. Thanks again, Nadine. Absolutely fantastic. Thanks everybody for coming along. And just remember, on my shoulder, if I move over, you maybe not be able to see it, but you can book for all our Meet the Experts for the rest of the month. We've always got hot topics for the industry. So thanks again, Nadine. Absolutely brilliant. And thanks everybody for coming along tonight. I hope you found that really, really helpful.